Newest stage. This town has waited 40 years for the pinnacle of motorsport to return, and this will be a Saturday fight night like no other that this town has seen. Welcome for the battle for Grand Prix victory from Vegas. It is officially round 22 of the World Championship. We go racing on a Saturday night for the first time since 1985. Landmarks here, there, and everywhere, but for the drivers' eyes to the track. And it is the second longest one of the year. It is 6.2 kilometers, 3.8 miles. It is high speed, tricky round the sphere, and a massive challenge when the cars are fat with fuel, when you haven't done any dicing, especially down to turn 14. There are two DRS zones. Remember, we won't get them at the very start of the race, but they will play a major role as well. 17 turns for the drivers to negotiate, and this is going to be a trip into the unknown. Let's zoom in to the tyres, the soft, the medium, and the hard. The C5 is no one's friend until maybe you get to the end of the race. It's all about the C4 and the C3, the medium and the hard. Max Verstappen has two sets of the medium tyre, the new medium tyre, available to him. And we take you now to pictures of one of the more famous streets anywhere on Earth, the Strip, and here is the starting grid. Yuki Tsunoda struggling for consistency. Lance Stroll has a penalty of 5 places for overtaking under the yellow flags in practice. Then it's Oscar Piastri in 18th, then Zhou Guanyu in next to him on the grid. Then we have Esteban Ocon, who finds himself in 16th. He's next to Lando Norris. And then we have Daniel Ricciardo 14th. He's the man who wanted to race here in Vegas the most, next to Nico Hülkenberg. Carlos Sainz with one of the more unfair penalties you will ever see in Formula One, from the front row down to 12th, and then it's Sergio Perez, who's battling Lewis Hamilton for second in the Drivers' Championship, but they both went out in the second part of qualifying. Then we have Fernando Alonso, Kevin Magnussen is 8th. It's a best start of the season for Valtteri Bottas in 7th. It's a best start ever in Formula One for Logan Sargent. He's next to his teammate on an all-Williams 3rd row. Pierre Gasly's best start of 2023 puts him in 4th position. George Russell aiming for a return to the podium. He's only had one this year. Max Verstappen on the front row for the 15th time this season. And Charles Leclerc with career pole position number 23. It's his 5th pole of the year, but the stat and Formula One goes racing on the streets of Las Vegas with Charles Leclerc cutting across Max Verstappen, who is on the dirty side. The top two go off the road. Do they open the door for George Russell? Massive spin in the middle of the pack as well. Max Verstappen takes the lead in the opening 200 metres of the Grand Prix, but he was deep into the first turn as he did so. Cars absolutely everywhere. Russell is in 3rd, Gasly is in 4th, Kevin Magnussen has improved a couple of positions as we have the yellow flag out in Sector 1. Sainz is at the back, Bottas and Alonso were involved in that as well as they scrub off the speed down turn 5. The air temperature is 18 degrees, but was he forced off the road at the first turn to take the lead?
Well, the truth is we'll never know. I have to say I agree with Henshin as much that Charles was at the mercy of the line that Max was taking. The question is, do they take the view, first lap, first corner, and they tend to, on many occasions, just let them race and see what happens, and I suspect that will be the case here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that there will be anything done there, but that's a tough one, because you can argue if Max just overshot the corner, he's not in control of the car, and you know he made the mistake, so to speak, and Charles was forced off as a result. Regardless, he's got the lead now. He's broke free of the 1 second gap to keep Charles outside of DRS, as we see it's now enabled, and he is off into the distance.
The stewards are looking at lap 1, turn 1. It's under investigation as a result. And whoa! Who's gone off the road in the background there? It looked like someone has hit the barrier.
Lando Norris, I think. It's the McLaren.
And Lando Norris goes off the road at turn 12. Norris into the barriers. The safety car, the full safety car is out. And we have had a dramatic start to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Lando Norris deep into the runoff area there. And that is a part of the racetrack where you are hugely committed through the turn.
Damage to the Mercedes as they're...
And Charles Leclerc making the pass on Lance Stroll, just looking for efficient moves through the field, and Leclerc looking to leave all of the drama behind.
Should we predict the radio message from George Russell?
They've got history, they've got previous. We were referring to it earlier in the broadcast. And Lance Stroll in 3rd. Now, after Charles Leclerc has made the place, and you can just see a little bit of wiggling around for Verstappen.
Reggie just sits in on me, check my tyre, front wing.
Tyre is okay for now, Max. Stay out for now. Tyre is okay.
Yeah, it's funny, you look at how slight the contact was between Piastri and Hamilton, both having issues after that. Much harder, much more damaging contact between Verstappen and Russell, but seemingly both continuing, no tire issues at least, but certainly that Mercedes will have lost a good amount of downforce, and this is just going to make for a long second half of the Grand Prix for George.
Yeah, just waiting for the replay to be able to play in, and on request, here it comes. So very brave of Max to pull it on that combined braking down the inside. And the question is, was there enough of the car alongside for George to clearly know? Not probably at that phase. And I'm not sure he was really aware that he was trying to get the pass done there. It looks like he's alongside, but not quite 100%.
If you look at George's helmet right before turn-in, yeah, there is a big chunk of Red Bull wing there, isn't there?
That looks like the wing end plate.
But if you look at George's helmet, he doesn't seem to be looking
St. Vegas Grand Prix, second place, still in the balance, and George Russell will be going all in now, trying to put the pressure on Esteban Ocon. He's got about 6 miles to do so as he tries to fight his way by. Looks like a good first sector for Charles Leclerc, who is surely going to go all in here.
It's going to be a big ask. It's a tall order, but we've seen some last lap heroics very recently in Formula One, just thinking back to Brazil with Checo and Fernando. Checo's going to be thinking about that. He just missed out a few weeks ago. He's not going to want to repeat of a last lap lapse in judgment. Bad car placement into turn one there is kind of what gave Fernando that opportunity. He's got to be picture perfect here because Leclerc is right on his gearbox. This is such a difficult position as a driver. There was a little bit of pain, I think. I think Leclerc got all the way up to the wall and just clipped it coming out of turn 12, trying so hard to catch the Red Bull.
Bieber's got the flag as Leclerc got the move. As he heads down, DRS open. This is going to give us a real indication, perhaps not for this lap, but maybe for the last one, which we're heading to. That's close. I think he'll be encouraged by that. He's going to have to throw it all in.
If we could keep the gap to Checo behind at 2.5 seconds, maybe help to turn him along, might be useful.
The gap is now 3.4 seconds, so make of that what you will. We're on to the final lap in Las Vegas. Max Verstappen on his way to 18 Grand Prix wins in the season. Charles Leclerc trying to chase Checo home and pass him on the last tour.
Way wide in turn one from Leclerc. He just doing everything he can to try to catch that Red Bull, but overshot it, gave Checo a little bit of breathing room for that DRS zone down into turn 5. Advantage, I think, to Checo,
who did his personal best first sector of the entire Grand Prix, and now it needs a lockup. The checkered flag is illuminated around the last lap. It is waiting on the main straight, and there you go. He has dropped back. He has dropped back to play the team game there. Max Verstappen, 2.1 seconds, asked by the team to do that. He plays the game, and he tries to give him a slipstream, and you would get an effect from 2 seconds of the slipstream. Leclerc, does he risk it all in the final meters of the Grand Prix?
This is where it matters. Such an important exit out of turn 12 for Checo. He seems to have gotten the power down nicely, getting a little bit of draft from his teammate. Is Leclerc going to be close enough? DRS open. Here we go.
This is the last real corner on the racetrack. It's flat to the floor by the time that you get out of 14, 15 and 16. Charles Leclerc's going for it to the inside as he got the car slowed down. What a move, Charles Leclerc, absolutely brilliant at the last real chance that he had to make the pass. Checo tries to fight back. What a performance from the top three. Max Verstappen puts his name up in lights once again, and it's very close to the line, but it's Charles Leclerc who takes second place with a bold and brilliant move at the last real opportunity on the last lap. It's
a little bit over the top, and I think podium celebration and everything after will be just in line with that, won't it?
What a spectacle. Thank you very much to the top three. Certainly all shook up after that. I'll stop. But it has been an absolutely shoddy start. No escaping that in practice. A sensational finish. Max Verstappen, Well, I'm not sure he rated the racetrack much before the 5 red lights went out, but he had to work so hard to claim one of his sweetest Grand Prix victories of the season. And dressed in the Elvis suit, he has put it all together, brilliantly so. Charles Leclerc did his personal best of the Grand Prix on the last lap as well, and we just had entertainment all the way through there. I think we expected it to be a really interesting street circuit, but not on that level. In the end, the top 3 separated by 2.2 seconds. Verstappen did slow down by about 2 seconds on the last lap, but they all led the Grand Prix at some point. They all put it together and looked, at one stage, it looked for all the world like it was going to be Leclerc's day by quite a margin. Then it looked like the timing of the safety car had swung it towards Perez, and we got suckered in Hinch. Of course Max was going to win.
Of course. I don't want to say it was a foregone conclusion, but there's just nothing that he can't overcome. Oscar Piastri getting up into 10th and taking the fastest lap, so the bonus point counts there for the McLaren man. Got to be happy with that after where he started and the issues he had on the day. But again, Verstappen just absolutely clinical in what he did. And a win like that, Alex, it does mean more to the driver. It does feel better when you had to work that hard for it. First it was the penalty, then the contact, making those passes on track, rather than starting from pole and winning by 30 seconds. That's fun, don't get me wrong. But when you really have to fight for it, that's racing. That's what these guys want to do. They want to race each other. And even though he finished second, was disappointed to lose the win, you heard him say, that was a great race, Charles Leclerc on the radio. And there are the 3 podium finishers for the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Race results after a brilliant battle where all 3 of these drivers held the lead on sequence of the stops. It's Max Verstappen who comes out on top and claims his 53rd Grand Prix victory. Charles Leclerc with a bold move on the last overtaking opportunity on the final lap to beat Sergio Perez to second.